So I believe it is time that you all come to an understanding that we are living in times like no other. Yes, the events that have occurred several times in the past. But what we are in for will be unique. It will be significant. There is a legend, or should I say prophecy. Several societies around the world knew about this, or should I say them. Gog and Magog. Ya'juj and Ma'juj. There's a reason why this legend has made it into both texts, the Bible and the Quran. Truth is stranger than fiction, and this is as strange as it gets when it comes to the mysteries of the planet and what God has created, our origins, and things we never knew about. There are a great many secrets that have not yet been revealed. I don't think we are ready for all of them. But I have, yet again, something for you to consider. So, I want you all to know and understand that this is something that goes from the Old Testament to the Hebrew Bible and the Quran, Hadith. Gog and Magog. Those of you who are not too familiar with Gog and Magog, let me fill you in and put this into perspective for you, because there are mysteries and things overlooked. And unfortunately, this may be a critical concern for the future of many who may have to be subjected to it and have to one day endure it. Now, I want to try and go slow so that I can give you the proper perspective, and trust me, this is one of those things that goes beyond physics and how we perceive reality. And trying to comprehend how this is possible, just consider that there are spiritual forces we have yet to understand. This is probably one of the most frightening prophecies that actually falls in line with things like a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion of the worst kind. You may be familiar with the Egyptian deity Amun, and this deity is often depicted with a horned crown or headdress. Alexander the Great was said to consult this deity. This is why Alexander the Great is depicted in coins with the horns of Amun on his head. Many people believe that Alexander the Great is another name for Dhul Qarnayn, a great Muslim king who wore a helmet with two horns. Now, the story from the Quran is that there's this great king, Dhul Qarnayn. Dhul Qarnayn, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, came across an isolated civilization of primitive people. Primitive in language, they had a hard time communicating with the king. But it turns out that the people were trying to tell the king about the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, two tribes of the same type of people. These were people. They are supposedly people like you and I. How much like you and I is still somewhat of a mystery. So the people in this civilization tried to explain to the king that these Ya'juj and Ma'juj were evil people. All they did was destroy. All they do is plunder and kill. And so they needed the king's help, and they'd offered to pay the king if he would be able to help them stop the Ya'juj and Ma'juj. The king told them that he didn't need to be paid, and doing the work of Allah was enough. So what he did was, now pay close attention, he had the people use their manpower and his army to gather iron. And they took that iron and deposited it in the Middle East between two mountains, underground, I believe. And with some type of technology described as a type of great fire, he was able to create a barrier between the people and the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, effectively trapping them away from the rest of the world. For every one of you out there, there is 999 Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And the prophecy goes that one day, when Isa comes, Jesus, he will take his companions into the mountains to hide from the Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Does that sound familiar? And the Ya'juj and Ma'juj will be released, and they will swarm upon the earth and kill anyone in front of them. Weapons don't work on them. Only running and hiding does. And they will kill everyone that is not with Isa. And then the Ya'juj and Ma'juj will say that they have conquered the world. And they will shoot their arrows into the air in an attempt to conquer the heavens. But God will throw the arrows back to them with a little blood on them to trick them into thinking that they have succeeded. And then God will release a fail-safe, a kill switch, that the Ya'juj and Ma'juj are infected with. Something in their neck that will come out and they will all pretty much drop like flies. Once they are all dead, then Isa and his companions will come out to check if the coast is clear, because at this point they're going to be lacking food. So understand, according to this and according to the Bible, because there are several references of people hiding in the mountains, this sounds very similar to the Revelation prophecy of a great army or something vicious coming upon us. The swarm that is described coming out of the abyss with the faces of men. Why would an army like that of creatures have human faces? Now, what if this iron barrier is actually a type of vault door? And the door that these Ya'juj and Ma'juj, or Gog and Magog, have been clawing their way through for thousands of years. And why thousands of years? Because when they were locked away, God kept them locked away and only allowed them to dig a little bit, a little time each day. And it seems that there is a breach in this containment. Some people believe that these people, the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, are little people. And if they are, then they wouldn't need a large hole to get through. And if they are tiny people with advanced technology, then yes, they could come out of that hole with flying machines and weapons we can't defend against. And they have had thousands of years to multiply. That's why there would be more than enough of them to make us go run and hide. Remember, there are hollow pockets in the earth beneath the crust, and oceans. Oceans in the earth. Some believe that this army doesn't get released until after Satan is locked away for 1,000 years. Some believe it is before that. It is not very clear, but the Quran, of course, lets us know that it is around the time Isa comes. Folks, can you imagine an entire race of humans living beneath us? And for thousands of years they have lived held back from us, separated from us. Whatever they look like, they are described in several ways that seem a bit frightening. So they probably don't look exactly like us, especially being a subterranean people. Let me ask you this. If the governments around the world know about the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and they do believe that they exist here on Earth today, could that explain a lot of the other theories or happenings that are occurring today? Is this why they are preparing to bunker down, among other things, natural catastrophes? A lack of vegetation and food is also part of this prophecy, as it is in the Bible. Is that perhaps something to do with that? Preparation and stockpiling of food? Seed vaults? You know, when you think about there being an army of vicious, virtually unstoppable subhumans just waiting to come out and get us, God has to hold them back. This is something I think deserves some consideration. I'm not the type to go, oh, that's just some dumb fairy tale. Oh, no. Think about this. If they live and die like humans, then after thousands of years, the ones that exist now have never come in contact with people like you and I before. I know when you think about it, it's pretty scary. Whatever technology they possess is probably with the assistance of the fallen angels, who they will be teaming up with, according to certain prophecies. And those arrows that go into the sky to attack God, I guess, what type of technology do you suppose is being used to do that? I want to come back to this topic because there are a few things I still need to look into when it comes to those beings or people and who they are. There's a lot of madness out there and under us, apparently. I can tell you that is one prophecy I hope to God isn't true. Stay tuned. There is more to come. Make sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. Breathe easy. We will get through this. Until next time, friends. Remember, when you are out there, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.